certainly the Islamic and Arab leaders have adopted quite a number of resolutions in as far as the situation is concerned in Gaza. For example, they're calling on the United Nations Security Council to adopt a decisive and binding resolution in calling for an immediate end of the Israeli aggression in Gaza Strip, but also they've thrown their weight behind the Palestinian cause. They do prefer the two-state solution as a very viable option in resolving this conflict, but also they've denounced Israel for the continued bombardment of Gaza Strip, especially in as far as the human rights of the Palestinians are concerned, especially in this context where we've seen a number of facilities like the healthcare facilities that have been affected, also the religious institutions that have been bombed. But also on the other side, from the Israeli side, you do have Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who has been very insistent that they will continue to weaken the military capabilities of Hamas. But also something that is very important here is a very unity from the Arab countries and the Islamic nations and their support for the Palestinian cause. For example, they do insist that the state of paralysis within the United Nations Security Council, the inaction that has been happening for years, amounts to complicity. They're also calling for the International Peace Summit to focus on the humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza, especially quite a number of Arab leaders attend the session, from the very own Crown Prince from Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, but also you had leaders like the Syrian leader who also came here, and also you had Abdel Fattah al-Sisi from Egypt as well. So a lot of them really unified and very determined to see a very just free Palestine, but also insisting that the root cause of the instability in Palestine is the continued occupation of the Palestinian territory, and saying that for this region to be quite stable and really enjoy long-lasting peace is quite important for Israel. Israel is an occupying force. But what is really important to point out is that you had from the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu saying that they will continue their operation in Gaza, saying that one of their preconditions will have to be the unconditional release of all the hostages that have been taken by Hamas. Something that is very important in this regard is that the Middle East, they do insist that it's quite important to have peace in this region, but also denouncing Israel for what it has been calling a self-defense, saying that retaliatory attacks has really exacerbated the situation in the Gaza Strip. Khayelihle Khumalo, SABC News, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.